Prime brisket. Gonna give it a lot of smoke because you know that LSG is pumping out that smoke. Out of control how much smoke that thing produces. It is right up there with any grill I had, even the offset. The smoke that it produces is gonna be amazing. Normally I will take you through like the whole trimming process of a brisket on the video, but I feel like that's been overdone. Basically, I keep it real simple. I take off the silver skin on the underside. I trim any hard fat off. I usually take most of the fat cap off of the point. Since there's so much fat in that muscle, you don't really need it to protect it, right? And then I leave about 1/4 of an inch of fat cap on the flat side, right? Pretty simple. And then I'll trim off, you know, any of the real thin parts of the flat that are just gonna overcook and burn. And I just season it up with a little Uncle Steve shake, a little Lucky shake, and I'll throw a link down below for it if you want to check it out. Also, there'll be a link down below for the LSG. It's not an affiliate link or anything like that, but I want you guys to check it out. This thing is a beast. For this cook, we're using some Smoky Pecan pellets in there. Guys, so Smoky Pecan pellets, they burn cleaner, they burn longer. They're made from pecan shells, not pressed wood. So guys, they're my favorite. If you guys want to buy some, there's a link down below. Save you 10% on your first order. Dude, can't go wrong with it. All right. So I'm going to take you through the cool cooking process outside. I'll meet you back here in the house. Got those good Smoky Pecan pellets in there. Guys, hit that code down below if you want to get some. 10% off, you know. All right, let's get this bad boy on. Fireboard. All right, we're gonna push to ignite. We're gonna take the temp up to 275 for this smoking adventure. All right, let's go. We got ignition, we got smoke rolling, got the brisket ready to get on. Let's go. All right, y'all, time to get this bad boy on. Got the water pan right here. Don't really need it so much as I want to catch the drippings. Keep it, you know, keep it nice and neat and clean in there. Got our beautiful prime brisket going on. That is a beautiful brisket, boys and girls. That in. All right, we're an hour in. Everything's looking good. Smoke is definitely heavy with this one. It's gonna be a hell of a brisket. All right, we're 3 hours in. I just opened the lid, so that's why it's not running right at 275, but it's getting back. 125 is the probe internal, and let's give it a spritz. All right, so we're looking a little dry on top, but that's okay. The bark is starting to form. It's nice and looking nice. We got a little spritz here. A little Worcestershire sauce, a little bit of soy sauce, but it was mostly water. Nice and diluted. Get this thing nice and sprayed down. I'm also gonna rotate it in here. I feel like it was starting to get a little crispy on the edges right here. So I decided to turn it. A little more heat might be coming over this way. We have the fat cap facing down because the heat is coming from the bottom. And it's hotter over to the right over here because that's where the fire pot is. So that's why I turned it around. Give it another little spray down. Keep it nice and moist, baby. All right, let's put that back in. Shut her down. All right, team. We are temping out at 170. Got some great color on there. And now we're gonna make a little foil boat and let it get finished off. All right, so it's a little breezy out here. That'll hold her. All right, get this thing boated up. Well, that's a good looking brisket right there, boys and girls. All right, let's get this back on. Let's get our probe back in. I'm gonna hammer it down with a good spritz. Don't mind if some of it gets into the foil boat here. And I have some Wagyu tallow in the house. When we get ready to wrap this for the rest, we'll put a little of that Wagyu tallow in there too. Shut her down. All right, we're all booted up. Now we just gotta finish her off. All right, y'all. We are at about 200 degrees. I'm gonna wrap this with some butcher paper and let it rest pretty much overnight in the oven on the lowest setting. We'll check back in the morning. Slice into that bad boy. All right, so that brisket, we put it inside, let it rest in the oven on the warm setting all night long. So we're here in the morning, we're ready to go. Let's go ahead and tear into this brisket and give it some slices. What do you say? All right, y'all, let's tear into this bad boy. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Look at the color, look at the bark. Let's go ahead and get it out of the paper here. Little paper squeeze over the top. All right, y'all, we're gonna go ahead and get in there. Get it right in the middle right here. Y'all, that is glistening. Look at that, nice fat running through it. Whew, my hands are drippy. Let's go ahead and get slicing into it. What do you say? All right, y'all, so let's go ahead and start cutting into this flat. Now, if you didn't notice before, I actually put a little notch in the front here so we can remember where which way the grains were running. So I always kind of put a notch there so we know which way to cut. So let's cut. We're just cutting real thin strips off. Got that beautiful smoke green going on there. I think we passed the bend test. What do you think? It'll pull apart. Gentle tug, baby. Woo. Sometimes you pay extra for that. That right there is one of the best bites in barbecue. All right, let's chop into this and give them a try. All right, team, we're all done getting this bad boy sliced up. You know I got me one of the little burnt in pieces from the point. Got a bit of fat on there because you know fat is flavor, baby. Guys, I forgot to mention when we wrap this to let it rest overnight, I put some Wagyu tallow on it that I made myself. So that's it. We obviously added a little bit of extra flavor to this, but guys, it's time to get a bite. Oh man. Oh man. I mean, come on, dude. Rich, fatty, unctuous, smoky. Oh my gosh, the smoke is insane on this bad boy. That the spritz I used, I think I said it already, but just a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, a little bit of soy sauce. The rest was water, right? So just like one part of each to, 9 parts of water or 8 parts of water, whatever it is. So it's real simple, but it just adds just that certain little bit of extra, like, I wonder what that is. To your briskets, I suggest you give it a try. All right, y'all. Listen, this turned out wonderfully. Sure, briskets take a lot of time, but they're worth it in the end, right? Right. Guys, if you'd like to get anything I use in my videos from, knives, cutting boards, merch, all that stuff, links are all down below. But other than that, guys, we're done.